Dogman has been a hit in comics and on the big screen, but there's still a lot this story hasn't revealed yet. Do you think you know all the mysteries hiding in the Police Pups universe? Let's start with one of the creepiest mysteries in the movie's universe. How exactly did Flippy end up dying? If you remember the movie, you know that the villainous fish had to get the Lifespray to come back to our world, which also means that at some point Flippy was completely destroyed. The movie throws in a weird explanation saying he was frozen inside an aquarium because he was in an ice mountain. But that doesn't really answer much, since it never says why Flippy was there in the first place. And it's not like Flippy didn't have super intelligence. After eating those brain pills that gave him powers, he turned into a genius, so he would have known not to go near frozen places. So how exactly did he lose his life? That's a mystery that's never been explained. What do you think happened? That question will probably be answered in the second movie in the franchise, and if you're ready to uncover 13 secrets in the Dogman universe, grab your popcorn, because Cinewave is starting now! One mystery from the books is about Big Jim's parents, who died when he was just a kitten. According to the comics, they were in a terrible car accident. They were taken to the hospital, but sadly they didn't make it. The real mystery here is why that even happened. How so? Well, in the book Big Jim Begins, we're introduced to the eyeball alien. This character appears in the book and talks to Crud, who's Petey's father. But in truth, he was looking for someone known as the Chosen One, and everyone thought that was Big Jim. Many fans believe that Big Jim's parents died in that crash because the villains in this universe wanted to stop the kitten from growing up to become a hero, and that actually makes a lot of sense, since little Jim was in the car that day. Was the tragedy that took Big Jim's parents part of an evil plan that didn't work out? We might find out in the future. Where is Officer Knight's family? If you've read the books or seen the movie, you probably remember that the only person close to him was his fiancée, Alice. We're told that Officer Knight is an orphan, but when he was a kid, he definitely had a family, even if it was an adoptive one. So, where were they when that bomb exploded? It's a big mystery because to this day, no one has ever shown up to talk to Dogman about Knight's past or the things he left behind. In the movie, he moves out after his fiancée breaks up with him, but in the comics, we learn that he had a house and other belongings. Officer Knight's family just vanished, and we still have no idea where they went. Could this mystery finally get an answer? How did Petey get hurt? He's a cat who, at the time, was just a little kitten when the tragedy happened. Dave Pilkey, the creator of the series, drew the villain with an injured tail. Ever since the first book, fans have wondered how that happened. And during a conversation between Lil Petey and Crud, Grandpa kind of implies that it was his own fault, like the father actually hurt his son. Sadly, that wouldn't be surprising, since everyone knows Crud is a terrible character who treated his ex-wife and son Petey horribly. But no one knows exactly how Grandpa Crud caused that wound. It's sad to think about, especially since the two of them have never talked about it, but you can expect answers soon, since Crud is now going through a redemption phase and feeling sorry for his past crimes. Will Dave Pilkey write a comic about Petey's childhood showing that moment? We sure hope so. Would you like to see the villain cat as a child? Drop a hashtag Petey in the comments so we can get to know each other.
Look up.
Dogman fans hate Crud. He's always been an evil cat. He abandoned his wife and son, leaving them homeless, and he's always been up to no good. One mystery that fans always wonder about is, where did he go after leaving Petey and his ex-wife Grace? Crud only reappears in the comic Dogman, For Whom the Ball Rolls. That book is number 7 in the Dogman comic series, and everyone knows Grandpa Crud disappeared from Petey's life when he was just a kitten. So it's really weird that we have no clue where he was all that time. Did he spend all those years committing crimes? Another question is whether he had a whole other family he abandoned too. It's possible, since Crud doesn't seem like the type who wants a wife or kids, but still he did have a family. Did he meet a new girlfriend when Grace got sick and that's why he left? Petey's mom, Grace, sadly had a terrible illness and passed away when the villain cat was still a sweet and innocent kitten. But no one really knows what exactly happened. And yes, it was devastating for Petey. So much so that losing his mom is what led to him to become a criminal. That loss is what turned Petey bitter and mean. But fans have always asked, how exactly did she die? That mystery has sparked a lot of theories, with the biggest one being that Grace had cancer. Of course, that's never been confirmed, and maybe Dave Pilkey will never give fans a real answer. But still, what illness did Grace have? And another question, what about the Lifespray? In the Dogman universe, it's possible to bring characters back to life, like they did with Flippy in the live action. So will Petey ever use the spray to bring his mom back? That's a big unanswered mystery. So what happened to Greg the dog's body and Officer Knight's head? That might sound like an easy question to answer, but it's really not. Dogman only exists because Officer Knight lost his head and Greg the dog lost his body. So does that mean those parts were just tossed aside because they didn't work anymore? Not quite. Remember the super spray? That magical gas that can bring buildings to life? That power is in the hands of the city government, and they could have used it to heal the police duo, but they didn't. It's pretty weird that there actually was a way to help Officer Knight and Greg recover, but instead they just created Dogman. Could there be a deeper reason behind this decision? Who is the mayor of OK City's brother? That's still a mystery, even though everyone knows he only runs the prison because he's related to the city's top boss. In the movie, during a conversation between the police chief and the mayor, the villainess says her brother is in charge of the cat prison where the villain Petey was locked up. That's something the next movie needs to clear up. If you didn't catch that, here's the deal. When Dogman arrested Petey, he was sent to the cat prison. That place is run by the mayor's brother, but the mayor was furious at the police chief because the cat kept escaping from his cell. The sheriff explained it wasn't the cops' fault, it was the prison guard's responsibility to keep Petey behind bars, along with their boss. But the mayor, who's definitely evil, got angry and insisted her brother was doing a great job. Total lie, because if that were true, Petey wouldn't be escaping all the time. So the real question is, who is the mayor's brother? Will we finally learn the truth about him in the next movie? And hey, are you gonna subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell? We've got new videos every single day!
This is going to be so cool!
If you've read the comics by Dave Pilkey, then you know George and Harold are the masterminds behind the Dogman world. These two boys are characters from the Captain Underpants comic. That means Dogman and his friends aren't real. They exist inside the Captain Underpants universe. It's like George and Harold's world is real, and Dogman is something they made up. But in the live-action version, the two boys actually show up watching all the chaos caused by Flippy's giant buildings, which is super strange because it makes you wonder, are the boys real characters in the movie, or just an Easter egg? And if they are real, does that mean the movie story is fake? The live action never gave an answer, but maybe in the future we'll find out the truth. Wouldn't it be awesome to see what DreamWorks has up their sleeve? The Lifespray works like a magical potion, but how exactly does that even work? The comic doesn't explain if magic actually exists in the Dogman world, and that's why the Lifespray is such a big mystery. It would be really cool to know where it came from and how it's supposed to be used, but so far that's still unanswered. Could it someday bring back characters who vanished? Could it be used to save Petey's mom? That's something fans are still wondering about to this day. Officer Knight's ex-fiancée, Alice, is the woman who walked out on him after the accident that led to Dogman's creation. She exists in the movie, but not in the comics. So, if she was made just for the live-action version, why didn't they give her more screen time? She barely shows up in the story. We just know Alice found a new boyfriend and left. Now the mystery is, will she show up again in the next movie? Would you like to see Alice come face to face with Dogman again? Have you noticed that animals talk in the Dogman universe? No, this isn't a silly question. If you think about it, Dogman is the only dog who acts like a human. But cats like Petey and Big Jim, pigs like Piggy, and fish like Flippy all talk, yet dogs don't. Why is that? It doesn't make much sense, and sure, we know Dogman is the main character, but it's still— No, Dogman doesn't speak like a human, but he does understand what people say. Still, shouldn't he be able to talk too? If Petey is a cat who acts just like a person, wouldn't it make more sense for Dogman to have that same ability? What do you think? Big Jim is also known as Commander Cupcake, a superhero who fights crime every single night. But there's one big problem. He's locked up in the cat jail and isn't supposed to leave his cell. So how exactly does Big Jim get out every night and sneak back in without anyone noticing? That's definitely a mystery that's going to be revealed in the upcoming stories that focus more on his character. Do you think we'll get an answer? Until then, you can stick around on our channel. We've got 2 more awesome videos lined up for everyone to enjoy. We'll see you in the next one. Catch you later.